We are 2 weeks away from CitizenCon.
It's a little bit down to the wire right now.
Chris has very high expectations, and I think a lot of us do, and we all want to match them.
But I think together with the directors and Chris and those kind of late night syncs that we have, we're able to actually deliver.
We are 2 weeks away from CitizenCon.
So for CitizenCon, we're actually working on 2 demos. Proc Planet V2, also known as Homestead, and a full chapter of Squadron 42.
We've planned for this for several months in advance.
It's a matter of getting things polished now and getting things in and looking good.
So in usual Star Citizen style, everything's coming in hot, but I think we're looking good.
We are basically in different continents, so you're basically getting a 24-hour cycle, and we have a handoff, which means that we pretty much have concurrent development going all the time between the studios.
The Squadron 42 chapter is a lot. I mean, to do a full playthrough of all the action was over an hour.
We're trying to sort of give people a snippet of what Squadron 42 is going to be about.
We have some new costumes, we have some new characters. Now we're going to have all the hairstyles in there, so it's probably the biggest implementation of character tech that we've seen so far.
So each deck crew, there's 8 different colors of deck crew. We know what the person's name is, we know what their job's title is. We're really fleshing out every part of a ship. So you can walk around and follow a character around and know, if you want to follow around the sanitation guy, you can follow around the sanitation guy. Squadron for us, for the character team specifically, is really important. We didn't put in 10 characters. We put in, as far as I remember it, up to 70 characters in this demo.
And it's challenging. We have a lot of challenges.
We might not get it all right, but we're all going to die trying, basically. It's one of those things. So you just keep going, going, going until Chris says, stop, fingers crossed.
A lot of my role has been producing the Homestead demo.
We said, let's up it and put a whole javelin there, and let's bring in a sandstorm, and let's get some sand nomads. And then I was like, let's have a big worm too. And everyone's like, haha, very funny, Chris. I said, no, not joking.
The giant sandworm. Yeah, that's scary. I don't know how that thing's gonna turn out.
In the PU, you don't have to play as a pilot. You can play as any type of character you want. And so I really wanted to make sure we brought a character that looked very different than what we had before.
I've been working on the Desert Nomad character. We're trying to push our tech for our game. It has a lot of cloth, a lot of frayed cloth edges.
I'm very proud of that character. I think he's probably one of our best looking characters that we have to date.
We're trying to build these really complicated foundation systems that are going to support massive structures to come when we expand the persistent universe into this huge entity. It's not a tech demo. We're actually showing off what the system that we've built and that foundation is going to support.
We got a lot of new features that are going to be, and new assets that are going to be appearing.
We're putting in new functionality like the stealth kill.
Most excited about seeing it all come together on the day and seeing the excitement, hopefully, from the fans.
We're really trying to get as many features in there and get them as polished as possible to show you that we're making the dream a reality.
We're prepping for a really big show. It's going to be pretty exciting. We have to make sure this is one of the best CitizenCons ever.
Challenge accepted.
It's been quite a big challenge because we've really pushed the boat out with the scope for this one, trying to show all the features we can possibly cram into the experience that will be Squadron 42.
Okay, so do we think these people sitting incorrectly are physics issues, or what's the issue on that? Well, other than the fact she hasn't got a body, the face looks as good as this one.
You open up folders and there's just so much stuff that just needs to be completed that it becomes a pretty daunting task.
Squadron 42, there's so many new things we're putting in there. You can feel the tension on the floor. We're still not 100% confident that we're going to be able to pull off everything we need in the time we have.
That's an incredibly important thing for me. It's something I've been asking for since last Marathon. So I'm, pretty frustrated. I understand. I'm pretty frustrated on that side because it's like it's the thing that makes them feel more natural or real. Otherwise, it looks like sort of kind of your typical bad game AI.
But I can't guarantee that we can get to all fixing all the retarget problems with everything else we're trying to do at the same time.
I mean, I understand that you guys are working on it, so I'm not saying that you're just sitting there having a party and showing up for a playthrough, but it's just helpful to see like little bits in progress earlier on to sort of call out like animation changes or whatever we want.
Progress on Homestead, it's incredibly ambitious. So many new parts, so many new pieces.
I'm hoping the animation that I see at the end of your video isn't what we're calling the final one, because basically it just comes out of the ground and goes, "Whoa!" and then we pull out. So it doesn't feel dramatic very much to me.
As always, global communication is one of the big things. A lot of the tech's being driven in Frankfurt while we're still providing the assets over in the UK, while the demo is being driven and done out of LA.
These moments are, crucial communication. You miss an email, you miss a conversation in 30 minutes, you might already be behind.
You spend hours upon hours upon hours making something look perfect, and then you put it in the game and you see it move. It doesn't look as perfect as you thought it did, and that's not anybody's fault. It's just the process of working in a collaborative space.
I'm not against the scanning thing you talked about, Hannes, if that can work. I mean, I just want to sell the narrative of you're like, you've got a general distress. You've got a beacon, you've been looking for something, and then you basically have to get closer and closer and get more and more fidelity to find and recover this stuff.
If something's in the game and it's working, does it work all the time? Is it only if you do it in certain ways? Is it only being triggered in certain ways? That's very different than being in like an isolated controlled test level where you know it's going to work every single time. Because then when you put it into the game, you're expecting it to work and you know that it can work, but that doesn't mean it's going to work.
For some reason, that console doesn't care, but the power plant does care.
Is the power plant a CGF or CGA?
They're both CGFs.
We got some bugs currently with Takani and the rover. Also the AI seeming to like to shoot rocks instead of shooting the player.
We have been doing a lot of rewriting of a lot of the AI code and the AI systems. In that process, things, especially within the animation, start to look a bit broken. These are, in some cases, really enormous systems, and trying to get them all done kind of at the same time is overwhelming.
It's crazy. It has like data bank entry, and then it has scanner data for the entry, and then scanner data has like a list of subcomponents, and each subcomponent can like have another subcomponent, and then per each subcomponent you have like item data, and in the item data it's crazy.
Our job for the most part is the city's on fire constantly. The fire gets only bigger right before you release it, and then you release it.
And I haven't been sleeping.
And it sucks.
I really have not been sleeping.
I've been having sleepless nights about CitizenCon for over 8 weeks.
I lost my train of thought.
Oh, hello, Chirpy. How are you? Not now. I told you before.
Just trying to pull me to see what it's like to be a Kim Kardashian.
Okay, but how are you going to fix this? Because this consistently shows up all the time. It's bugged. I thought we fixed this.
All the indirect shading on the particles is
We need to make a call on this. We know we're not going to have the section on the Idris ready with the thing done well polished through and looking awesome.
Right.
So if we just show it like without stuff working properly, I just don't see what we're getting on. We should get that mail out tonight to the guys in the UK and say focus on that. I just think that if we do that, then we can get complete focus. We can have all the focus just on making sure that upstairs is the best.
Well, that was a call we're going to make tomorrow.
Yes, it was, but I think if we do it now, we get 2 full days on it rather than just one, which is Saturday.
Hey, Carl, Aaron, should we just have a quick power on about this?
The call is we're not going to show this on Sunday.
It was hard. It was kind of depressing, actually. So the decision not to show Squadron 42 after everyone working so hard, and actually of the company, I would say a lot more of the company were working on Squadron 42. So it's by far the most ambitious of the ones that we've gone for. So it was tough to work, and people were working quite a long, because we've been working towards this for a long time. It's not something we started a few weeks ago. We're working towards it for a long time. So it's tough to get there and not quite cross the finish line.
I saw everybody here working hours and hours late into every day, you know, putting their time and effort into making that everything they could. It's a shame.
The decision was absolutely right. I absolutely agree with it.
It was right up until the very end. We were starting to make some decisions that were more about fixing it for the demo versus fixing it for the game.
Let's not just give somebody a taste of something and show a little bit of progress. Let's show a snippet that really shows it dialed in. And we also have a level of quality that we're not going to set down.
It'll pay dividends when people see it.
The good thing about it is actually a huge amount of work went into Squadron 42. We really moved it forward. We actually answered a lot of issues and solved a lot of technological issues, which means that actually it really pushed us very close to getting something that we can show the community. And that's basically where we are now, is we're basically working on getting Squadron 42 to a level where we can give it to the community, you know, as soon as possible.
We were splitting resources between the two, and it was really tough for some of the engineers because those engineers are being pegged for both demos. It was actually a relief for a lot of people because then they were able to like focus and jump onto the project and help out. We can now give more resources over to just this one demo and make it really good.
We basically pulled over the entire team to Homestead.
The passenger lift's not working on the Connie right now.
So we need to get the passenger lift working.
That's one way of getting it.
So we don't want to start in the slaver outfit. Why do we have the gigantic radar thing?
It flickers in and out sometimes. It was working fine last build, but this build it seems like it's back again.
The use prompts, it's always lagging behind.
Yeah, we need to fix that.
Say that again.
All this investigate goes away. It should be distress signal cluster, distress beacon, because you don't have HUDs tell you investigate this. That's a gameplay concept.
That's cool.
The thing is going to be the level of detail in our procedural worlds. People have done procedural worlds before, but the level of detail we're bringing to it is something which no one has seen before.
I'm most worried about the usual thing. You know, will it go all right in the night? We think we've done everything possible. I think it'll be great, but you never know.
Because we always do live demos. We don't like do pre-canned or pre-recorded stuff. There's always this sense of, is it going to crash?
In production, these are some of the more fun times, but also some of the more stressful times. Our job becomes more people focused and calm and looking towards the correct goal at the end.
But you just have to just stay on it and just keep on, one by one, just knock over, each of the milestones and keep on delivering that stuff.
We are on the show floor at CitizenCon 2946. As you can tell, it is absolutely wild here. The show is about to start. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. What does Star Citizen mean to you?
They mean everything. They're family.
It means finally being able to be what I've always wanted to be.
They are the best community I have ever come across.
We are going to go to the demo. This is all 100% live, in the engine, in real time. Let's go.
My biggest worries, like they always are right before release, are the unknown and wondering if it's going to work, and the anxiety.
Just do it!
this is like the Star Wars game we never got. It was just amazing. Nobody else could do a show like that.
The planetside stuff, that demo really just, I mean, it was stunning.
I'm glad I hit the sniper shot. That was a nice one.
Blew my mind. I thought it was awesome. Are you kidding me?
The Dune reference, it just does not get enough love in sci-fi.
I'm speechless of how good it came out.
It's got like space worms.
What we showed was really just sort of us using those tools to put something together fairly quickly with all the work that we've done to illustrate how we can build like compelling worlds at scale in an efficient timeline that allows us to build a whole universe, which is what we're trying to do with Star Citizen.
The game will come out when the game comes out, and in the meantime, we're seeing the development, we're seeing behind the curtain, and we're playing aspects of the game that are just stunning.
I definitely backed the right game.
I've been doing this stuff for 20 years, and the fan involvement and the fact that the fans care so much is just, it's just mind-boggling.
You look at the team and you look at what they're developing and you see that they're doing something nobody else has ever done before. And then from a fan perspective, it's like, well, all right, cool, I'm on board. So, we get passionate about the project. The development staff's passionate about the project. And it's this kind of cyclical thing where everyone's kind of supporting everybody else.
I think I've mentioned this before, but it is the first gaming community that I've ever been a part of, and I'm biased to say that it's the best gaming community ever. I would personally like to thank all of the community, because if it weren't for you all, I don't know how I could do my job.
One of the reasons I backed the game, and I know many people backed the game, is to provide Chris Roberts, and by extension Cloud Imperium Games, the freedom from publishers, the freedom from compromise to do these things the way they're supposed to do, and to push these things as far as not only technology, but the people making the game can push them.
I sat down with Jared and Tyler after the event, and we were just, I don't want to look at Reddit, this makes us so sad. We don't want to disappoint people, but it's for the best. And I'm so proud to work for someone who is willing to make that call, who's willing to take the short-term hit on reputation and that sort of thing so that we have a better game, so that we deliver what we promised. So there's an old saying that a delayed game is good eventually, whereas a bad game is bad forever. And crowdfunding lets us put that to the test.
This has been the sentiment throughout. Take your time, make it perfect. We want the best damn space sim ever.
I think CitizenCon went extremely well. It's always a strong show for us. It's always kind of the more emotional as well. We came to show off our progress, and I think that's what we did.
Whenever we do demos, Chris is usually talking through the demo, and he's not really looking at the demo itself. If you see him, he was like looking up at the screen, and he had this grin on his face, just you could tell he was proud.
The responses I got, afterwards, going around, walking around, talking to people, I mean, I just can't thank our community enough.
Everyone who's been here right from the beginning, who may have just joined yesterday, or who's thinking about joining now, thank you very much.
I just want to say thanks to everybody, to the community, for all your support. We get to make this dream come true because of you guys, and that means a lot to everyone here in Cloud Imperium around the world. And so I really look forward, I know we all really look forward to showing you all the great stuff that's coming up over the next few years.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.